Flight boss, bitch, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Terry's Moon. Dolo the Archangel Uriel, and Dolo here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. Now, we're gonna talk about what's the whole purpose of transits and what's the real meaning and how not to just know it, but how to utilize it for your best benefit. Now, a transit. Now, let me make a disclaimer. Now, before we even get into all that, what you need to understand is when you look at the sun, the planet, and things of that nature, these were once men and women that walked whatever earth that they was on. Earth is just a representation of an element, a stability, something that can grow. So the planet that you're in right now is not even technically called Earth. You know what I'm saying? Just a lot of the things in it is Earth related, but it's not even called. That's not the name. But what you have to understand is that these were once men and women, and every religion is just basically trying to get you to understand that that it's going to take 2,000 years, 2,000 or some years to ascend to that level. So it may take 2,000. So this is why they say some men live for 2,000 years and things of that nature, which in this reality, a lot of them did. But a lot of times it really depends on, it's telling you it's going to take 2,000 years to ascend to a level. So whoever talking, just like when in the beginning of the Bible, when it say, let us make man in our image, it's basically talking to the person who was writing it. So the person who was writing it was a person of like God. So you see what I'm saying? You have to look at it like they're talking about, and this is why every religion have a 2,000 year span. Because they're talking about evolutions of things, becoming something. So once you understand that, now you can understand why religions worship the planets, but they appear as planets now in this realm of reality. So that's why a lot of things is not going to make sense. But back then, whoever was writing the scribes was one of the sort. So you see what I'm saying? And they knew what was going on. So when you look at it like this, right? Now you have to understand everything is a rotation, everything is relative. So when you see a sun up there, right? That's equivalent to like a being here that got supreme rulership. So just think about, we ain't talk about the presidents, we talk about the people who created the system for there to be presidents. Those people, those are going to be the first people who come out as sons. You see what I'm saying? And actually have the idea on how to accumulate themselves to be a son first. You see what I'm saying? So when you think about it and you know these beings walked earth, all the scriptures is basically telling you their views and their ideas and their way of doing things, right? So as they ascend, right, we're under them. So we're under their system. You see what I'm saying? We're under their system. So this is why you have so many religions worshiping the sun, worshiping Jupiter, worshiping Venus. Because when they did walk the earth, this was the characteristics that they did. Then after the 2,000 years have passed, they ascended. So now you are up under their ideas and thoughts of doing things. So whatever you see in this realm of reality, right? You know there was an overall seer of that overall idea. So this is why people want to call Jesus the Son and things of that nature, because the Son is a representation of a human here right now that control everything, whether it's against your goodwill or not. So when it ascend and be able to do that in a rotation, the things up under it has to go along those views, whether those views is privy to that being's nature or not. This is where you're going to get a lot of confusion of religions, because a lot of them make it sound like they're talking about a man or a woman, and they are. That's what these things is. There's a higher dimension version of it, an ascendant level of it, and it's going to take about 2,000 years to get there, and you're going to experience a hell for that many times until you develop all the knowledge in that hell to ascend to the next one. Now, the purpose of transits. Now, here's the purpose of transits, because you have your elements and systems. The whole point of transits is how planets bring information here. You see what I'm saying? And the only reason you may not be receiving the information, and the only reason you may be going through situations and circumstances in your life, is because you're not applying yourself with the flow. For an example, right? If that's the system up there, right? Then you may be going through a lot of situations and have to do a lot of things that you don't want to do, because instead of going with that system, you're going with the system up under it. Society, the economy system, that just a replica of the ecosystem. You know what I'm saying? So instead of you doing what you're supposed to naturally be doing, you're forced to do other things, and it's automatically going against the flow. And you have to understand that when a transit comes, this is your ability to access information. For an example, if your sun sign is in Gemini and today's sun is in Libra, then that's your gift. But you will never receive the information of your gift if you take your sun sign and do that with other shit, aka your job, aka shit that's in this memory reality, shit that's an illusion, shit that don't really mean nothing. So you end up facing circumstances and situations that ultimately is really blockages and shit like that, because it's your energy, it's this energy today, and it's your energy trying to do a bunch of shit that it can't do. So it's blocks. So it play out in your life like obstacles and situations and things that you don't want to do. So the whole purpose of transits is to know what you're actually supposed to do today. See, now, when you get a lot of astrologers talking about transits, they just tell you what's actually going on, but they don't tell you, and then you're supposed to apply it, like how this affects you or how it's affecting everything. This is why you have to be careful when you even talk about an event using astrology, because you have astrologers out here who will talk about an event that happened and rely it on, and they say the reason this happened is because of the transits. No, that's not the reason events happen. The reason events happen is because of all the frictions against transits. You see what I'm saying? Like if the news channel was reporting how you're supposed to go about the energies today, it wouldn't be no situations. So we are the ones causing the situations. The transits is just the energies of the situations that's allowed to happen. So if it's a lot of fire going on, there's going to be a lot of fire energy allowed to happen. Now, we the ones who cause the low vibrational fire. We the ones who cause the transformations and the killing if it's a lot of fire going on. But that's not necessarily what the transit was telling us that was going to happen. The transit was just telling us was energy was available. So if we knew the natural way to go along in energy, everybody would be dancing and singing on that day instead of murdering and killing. The same way for all other signs. So when you look at it like this, right? A transit. Now, for an example, now a transit, when it comes across like the sun, moon, and transit in your chart, the better you know how to go with the flow and align yourself, the better you're going to see the information of what planets is trying to tell you what you should do that day. And you're going to see wiser. This is a fast way to wisdom. But when you're doing a lot of things within a day, you're utilizing your own elements and naturally going and subconsciously going against the natural day of the flow. So you're creating obstacles and situations. So you end up finding out every day you're doing more of what you don't want to do than things that you actually want to do. And you end up finding that it's only a little bit of time to do what you want to do. And you have to utilize all your time to do shit that you really don't want to do. You see what I'm saying? So the whole purpose of transits is going with the flow. Now, it may be a long time before everyone get on this actual path, but this is the true nature of it, right? Now, for an example, right? If today the sun is in Libra, right? My sun is in Aries, right? So before I go doing a bunch of Aries shit, right? And receive a bunch of obstacles, it's going to come to me oddly. But since I know today's sun is in Libra, I know that going with the flow today and how I receive the most information today is showing relatability with my actions. You know what I'm saying? Showing fairness, showing balance, not being too selfish. You know what I'm saying? Compromising a little bit. So I know if I do those things, that's my consciousness awareness will receive the most information out of today. Now, if I'm a person who ain't in astrology, fuck astrology. Or I'm into astrology and don't know it well enough, or not consciously aware enough, or I haven't watched no Archangel Uriel videos, then I'll be looking at it like this, like, okay, now I know today's sun is in, if I'm an Aries and I know today's sun is in Libra, then I know I'm going to be opposed right now. I know my actions and the way I act ain't going to be well received. You know what I'm saying? And then once you go on a lower level, to the point of, that's people who are aware of astrology a little bit. Once you go on a lower level, and a person who just purely don't even give a fuck about astrology, if your sun in Aries and today's sun is in Libra, you're not even thinking about none of that shit. You just going along the day, continuing doing selfish shit, aggressive shit, being unrelatable. So now you're receiving the most obstacles in situations. You see what I'm saying, from this opposition. Now the person who is consciously aware, who just saying, I'm going to receive this today, they basically just creating a situation. Because they thinking like, okay, well, since today sun is in Libra and I'm in Aries, this is what's going to happen. So all the thoughts that you're doing, you're creating that circumstance. So yeah, you aware, but you're just consciously aware of your power now and not knowing that's your power. So you're creating that circumstance now. You know what I'm saying? You got the power to create your circumstances, and then based upon how you taught, if you taught at it as it the way it looked, and obstacle and oppositions is looked at as negative, then you're going to create that situation for you, whether it's in a positive or negative way. You're going to be like, okay, this is what's going on, so I got to make sure I do this. You're going to plan your day around that. And I'm telling you, if you an astrologer, get past that level. Now you need to get to the level where you understand that's what's going on today. You see what I'm saying? So as an Aries sun, and today I won't receive no oppositions today. Only thing I will receive is information, because I know off the bat my energies, my conscious awareness energies, and how I view things and how I see things, aka the sun, and my actions and the way I act, which is an Aries, I know it's not going to be relatable. I know I need that to be relatable right now. I need that to be more, you know what I'm saying, compromising. Okay, right now. I need that to be more, you know what I'm saying, more fair right now, because I know that's how I'm going to receive the most information from the sun that day. You know what I'm saying? So I end up more wiser. Then you can do that. Then you do that with the moon. If your moon is squaring today's moon, or squaring today's Mercury, or squaring today's Mars, or whatever like that, then the highest realm, you'll think about it like, okay, how I feel, how I react to things right now, my natural way of reacting to things right now. If it's squaring today's moon, I know I need to learn from how other people are reacting to things, how other people are right now. So that's how I'm going to receive the most information. Then the lower level is just a regular astrologer. They'd be like, okay, a square is going on right now. So I may perceive some kind of obstacle or situation dealing with something that's close in my life right now, something that's personal, something that's emotional, or something like that. Boom, 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 boom. Then you got the lowest level, people who just don't give a fuck about transits or astrology at all. They just going on throwing their emotions and feelings around everywhere. And then if it's a square, it's already not the same element as the energy wave today. And it's off the bat making an angle that's harsh. So you throwing around your emotional fits, or you reacting to certain things, or just being who you are, may cause a lot of clashes. And now you going throughout the day like, man, I didn't went through this, I didn't went through that. Why did? And that's why. So things happen and situations happen only when people are not paying attention to the transits. Now, if all the news channels and things of that nature was focused on the transits, everybody would know how to align their energies. You'll have somebody watching a news channel at home, and if the news channel is preaching about transits, is teaching transits, right? You'll have somebody at home like, okay, today is not a day for me to go to a concert. Because I know if my energy go to that concert, I may be the one who gets shot. You know what I'm saying? The person who's watching that shit, the gunman itself, will be like, okay, this is not the day for me to go to a concert and shoot anybody in Las Vegas. Because I know what kind of situation it'll lead to. And you know what I'm saying? And I know this is probably a way I'll be feeling right now. So let me go learn this instead of just doing this carelessly. You see what I'm saying? So this is the whole purpose of transits. Whole purpose of transits. So I want to do a little quick rundown so you can understand it. Today's sun is in Libra right now. So how you are angling today's sun with whatever planet you have, right, is your duty and obligation. It's your responsibility. No, it's not just what's happening, or stop trying to create what's happening. just because based upon what you learn. That's the two levels again. Let's rise above and let's take responsibility for the elements and for what's going on right now. If today's sun is square, sextiling, trining, or whatever like that, your sun or whatever planet, do you utilize that axis energy so you can learn the best benefits of the day? You know what I'm saying? So today, what you should be consciously aware of is fairness, balance. You know what I'm saying? The moon. What Gaia wants you to do today is she wants you to be in the emotional awareness. She's in Aries. So she wants you to, the moon is in Aries. So the information you get from there is how you maximize the most information to get from today is being a little bit more selfless with your own emotions and feelings. Be a little bit more initiative and creative with your viewpoints of seeing things and how you feel about things when it comes to your emotions, when it comes to who you are, when it comes to other people are. And you're going to see things. See, off the bat, just me saying that off the bat, you already learn a little bit more about yourself today. Ha, you see what I'm saying? Whoa. Mercury is in Libra. You know what I'm saying? Be more relatable and compromising and fair and more balanced with your way of communicating, with your way of analyzing, with your way of being fair. With your way of communicating, analyzing, and socializing, and rationalizing and thinking. Today, Venus is in Virgo. You know what I'm saying? So whether it's a square sextile to you, you got to do the best you can. If it's just like me, my sun, it's an opposition to today. So I have to try the best I can. And if I'm not, that's me making excuses and me not taking responsibility for my own actions. So any situation or circumstance that I witnessed that's harsh to me, I deserved it. You see what I'm saying? Today's Venus is in Virgo. So once you understand Virgo and Venus falling in Virgo and whatever like that, now you understand what Gaia wants you to do today from the energy she's really receiving from Venus. Now, Venus wants you to love, appreciate, value, and relate to things that's dealing with details, things that's dealing with routine, scheduling, things that you do on a day-to-day basis. You know what I'm saying? And critical moments. Appreciate critical moments. Appreciate criticism at this time. You know what I'm saying? So now you know not to get all out of your mouth and put your foot in your mouth when you're getting criticized by somebody else. You see what I'm saying? This should be the real news channel. You know what I'm saying? Now today on the forecast, Mars, yeah, that's the real weather. Mars is in fucking Virgo. So your intent, willpower, passions, and motivations should be predicated towards details. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if your Mars is in Aries. Mars loves to be in Aries, so that it's going to make all kind of excuses in the world not to pay attention to details, not to pay attention to criticism and just do your own thing. Nah, I don't. But see, that'll be in conjunction to today's Venus, and to today's Mars, which Mars is in Virgo. That's an in conjunction. So you got a misunderstanding of how to conduct yourself today, and you would take responsibility for that. So if your Mars in Aries, no, it's your responsibilities to sit down and focus on the motherfucking details. I don't care how hard it's going to be. I don't care how much of that's in conjunction is going to be. Focus, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Today's Jupiter is in Libra. You know what I'm saying? So the way you should be experiencing life and gaining wisdom and knowledge and put meaning and reasonings to things should be in a relatable way. You should be able to relate it to someone else. You know what I'm saying? You should be able to have it in harmony. Have it be fair. Have it compromise. So even if someone is being unfair, you should be able to be the person who utilize your wisdom and knowledge or your meaning and reasonings for the experience to make it fair. Even if you have to act aggressive on somebody. You see what I'm saying? A Libra beat somebody's ass for the sake of someone else because they see that situation as not being fair. See what I'm saying? But a Libra may not do that same for themselves at times. So this is what they can learn from an Aries. Then an Aries at times is too selfish. What they can learn from a Libra at times is how to be more relatable. How to know everything ain't about you. How to not be so consumed into yourself and be so angry to yourself at times. And let out some type of social appeal at times. You see what I'm saying? So it's a whole thing. This is the purpose of transits. This is the purpose of transits. So next time you're looking at transits, you know it's just not, oh, this is about to happen. What should I do? Should I go look at some more transits? No. Now you know this is my responsibility. And if I actually want to learn something today and actually evolve, then let me go with the flow. The best way I know how to go with the flow. And you just going with the flow off the back, you're still going to have your own position because you already your own elements. So you're not being consumed and took over. You actually apply yourself on a balanced mechanism. So you're able to live peacefully within the whole. You're able to have your own peace within the whole. You know what I'm saying? And you will witness less harsh situations than harsh situations. Flight boss, bitch. Goddamn air.